podcast is part of the Pod Syndicate family. For more criminally compelling shows, articles, and conversations, head to wearepodsyndicate.com.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and welcome people to episode 338 of Film Bastards. I am one of your co-hosts, Mark Foster, and as ever I am joined by... Becky would be saying something, but she's...
Becky Foster, hello everyone.
She's currently running around trying to find her house key. And also joined by...
Ian Loring, hello. This is going to be an interesting show. I've just activated my... Oh, for fuck's sake! Right, I just activated Siri and then it cut the audio out. Right, Jesus Christ, we're not getting off with a good start. Hi, people. This is going to be a fucking bitty show by the sounds of it, and apologies.
It is, yeah. So far, Ian's, you've not been able to find your headphones, have you? And myself and Becky have a water tank that's just burst, so we're waiting for an emergency plumber. But we're Film Bastards, and we power through these fucking things.
We're fucking trying.
This is the concept we bring in.
Mate, I tell you what, if I get corona'd, I'm still planning on recording. God knows I'll have more films to talk about. This reminds me of a dream I had the other night. I had a dream the other night that I got corona and was essentially at home, and I've had to self-isolate for 2 weeks, and you wouldn't podcast with me because you said that you were convinced that we were in a simulation and you could possibly get coronavirus. And all I could say was, I mean, the science does check out. If we are in a simulation, that is feasible. Yeah. I mean, that's when it's going to break down for me. That's funny. Yeah. Fucking hell. But by the way, we are in a simulation.
We have, what do we have this week? We have reviews of Fantasy Island. And we also have a review of Spenser Confidential.
We were going to all do Dark Waters. I couldn't make it work yesterday in the end, and apologies. Did you guys get to it?
Mark's got definitely not coronavirus, so he hasn't been very well over the week.
Yeah, I've got without question not coronavirus, which might seem to be believed to be coronavirus.
Right, okay. No.
The fact that people up at your workplace have been diagnosed with it terrifies me.
Why?
Jesus, really?
Because it's very communicable.
Yeah.
And you go in that bloody store.
There's 2 people that work in the whole centre. It's a big centre. Have been diagnosed.
In a sports store that will remain anonymous.
One sports store and one another store.
Oh, what's the other store? Whisper.
What?
Whisper.
It might be a leather goods company that has a small dog as their emblem.
Oh.
Yes.
What the fuck is that? Well, good for you if you can work that out. I haven't been able to pass those clues, but mate, that's fucking like just the way it is with my work at the moment. It's like as soon as anyone gets like diagnosed close to my work, like it's basically right, you're no longer in, and I don't know how. Oh right, okay. And I don't know how long that's gonna be for. Like the fucking emergency planning that we are doing at the moment is mental. Like I've got to give up my laptop because the work I do on a laptop is not essential enough, which made me feel valued. I get it.
Where? Kick me in the dick.
No, I 100% get it. But it's funny because it's like one of my direct reports has been asking for a laptop for the longest time, and I said to her today, like, you know, you're getting a laptop, and she was like, well, this is under some fucking weird circumstances, isn't it? And bless her, she's getting my laptop, and I've melted off part of the back of it, so good luck to her. Yeah, it's I don't know, it's really weird, isn't it? Because it's like, who knows, by the next episode, who knows what might have happened.
Well, that's it, because the bad thing is, obviously, news, the No Time to Die has been given a bit more time to die. He's been given an extra 6 months, was told that he was going to die within the next 6 weeks, and now he's been told you've got 6 months.
I tell you what, I sound like I'm in fucking mourning recording the Golden Eye podcast, because I did it that night, and I'm just so depressed.
The thing is,
And it
specifically that though, and no others. It's weird.
No, that's the first biggie to go.
It's the thing. I mean, it's interesting. We'll talk about a trailer in a minute, where at least I think we will, which is still sticking to its first of May date.
Yeah.
It's one of those interesting vagaries of international box office, where it's basically, it was projected to make a fuckload of money in China, so they just decided to shit can the release.
Yeah.
Because like the Mulan release has been delayed in China, but they're still saying it's going to go ahead elsewhere.
Yeah.
It depends on how rough it gets, because like Italy, they've closed, like literally no cinemas in Italy are open at the moment.
They've quarantined the northern half of the country, haven't they?
Yeah, it's in regions. Again, Italy's a funny one because it's actually Italy's a region-based place. It's not like it's similar to America in that it has broken up regions that have different governance around it.
Right.
Yeah, but it's, I don't know, it's interesting because it's like, once you get too far into it, it is a little bit, what's the point in keeping things closed? Like if you are a person who needs to be in isolation for your own health or the health of others, then absolutely fair enough. But it's almost like, if it's that rampant, like if the genie's out of the bottle, kind of what's the point in closing everything, apart from the fact that, like, if 50% of the population had it, and you're basically saying 50% of people can't go outside.
Well, that's the thing. It's the madness of, at the moment, our for instance, the centre that I work at are kind of going, look, we're just stopping, we're not doing anything until we're told by the local health organisation, you have to close. They said, but, you know, stores might have to just, if your head office says close, then that's fine, but we'll have to discuss that with. It's all a little bit like. I was talking to him and he was saying, I don't, and I said, look, mate, I get it. You don't really know what to do. I said, and that's not as a criticism of you. It's genuinely not. It must be a really weird position you're in, because you've got like 100 odd stores coming to you and going, what are you going to do? And you're going, I don't know.
No, I mean, it's so difficult though, because I suppose it kind of depends on insurance as well, because it's like, if the landlord of your shopping centre says, right, we are closed, then I'm assuming that your company's insurance will pay out, because literally the building operators have said we're closed, so your business cannot function. Whereas if your business is choosing to close, then unless it's like of the advice of the government, then is there a case that like your company's insurance would not pay out in those kinds of circumstances?
Exactly.
You know, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, sorry.
It's all different people having to all agree with other people to kind of go, right. And then you've got, you know, specific stores we're saying, well, we don't want to close because we'll have to pay people anyway, and we're going to lose thousands in business. So, but then it's people lives and stuff like that. It's all a very, it's an odd little thing. Everyone seems on a little bit of pause at the moment.
It does feel like the calm before the storm, though, doesn't it? Because it's like there's not enough cases right now for people to be in full panic stations. But when you've got like the head of Public Health England saying within the next 7 to 10 days, they're basically going to say that anyone with a cold or flu has to self-isolate for 7 days. That's the latest thing that's fucking come out today.
That's it. And the mad thing there is I have got a bit of a cold. But the thing is that if I have to self-isolate, then the people at my work will then go, well, if we've been communicable, do we? It's a whole. Everybody is kind of just panicking, just trying not to say anything, just in case something happens.
Yeah.
What I will say is, fingers crossed, if it can just last out like another 2 weeks, we might have the title wrapped up by then, and then they can't take it off us.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, it would take a fucking real hater to say, yeah, don't give it Liverpool now. It's
that's the thing. The amusing thing is, you can imagine them all sat on a table going, if it gets cancelled like next week, and we're like 3 points or a point off it, going, I mean, them's the rules.
I just fucking hell, man. Like, all I know is we've got about 3.5 weeks until dog. And I just need our family to get through 3.5 weeks.
Have you come up with a name yet?
We have ideas.
I have ideas. Cool.
It's a girl. I'll say that if it affects anything.
I will look forward to hearing what it is. So we've kind of covered a little bit of news there with things getting delayed. Any other news that's come out this week?
The women walking out of the French Film Awards was last week, wasn't it? No, I don't think so.
With the passing of Max von Sydow today, didn't we?
Yeah, that was sad. I mean,
He was 90.
Yeah, I mean, 90 is a good old innings, and I mean, he was pretty active until not long ago, wasn't he? Because he was in Game of Thrones for a bit, and he was in The Force Awakens. I wonder what his. I'm gonna look him up now.
What his last film was?
Yeah.
His last film was. He's got one coming out. Echoes of the Past. Wow.
Okay, what's that about? Who's that directed by?
Nazi Massacre.
The Nazi Massacre?
Yeah. That sounds quite good, actually, that.
163 fucking credits, man. Jesus.
Yeah.
Director Nicholas Dimitropoulos. It's not really directed anything I've heard of. Yeah, I suppose. Well, yeah, he had slowed down, hadn't he, towards the end there?
Slowed down, but not like. I mean, slowed down, but was still rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
Up until like 3-4 years ago, so still like his late 80s.
He was in a film called Branded as marketing guru. Oh, hang on, Branded. Yeah. Branded. Who's that? Is that? Oh no, it's not who I thought it was.
It's Lily Sobieski.
In future Moscow, where corporate brands have created a disillusioned populace, one man's effort to unlock the truth behind the conspiracy will lead to an epic battle with hidden forces that control the world. That sounds pretty good.
It's not bad, actually. It's quite a fun movie.
For fuck's sake, Siri.
It's very B movie.
Right, Siri, can you just disable yourself, you twat?
Do you find it does that with your watch?
I don't have an answer for that. Of course you fucking don't.
My watch does that a lot. My watch literally will just start recording things that I've said, and then it just say back to me, I'm sorry, I don't know what to do with that. And it's usually when I've been talking and like, what is it? And I've been having a rant or something like that, and it'll just say, it'll just come out with something like that. I'll say, well, that's not very nice. Like, I wasn't calling you a twat.
I'm just going to turn on. It's just to, like, I'm recording in my AirPods because I don't know where my headphones are. So I just want to turn off my system preferences with Siri. Right. Enable Ask Siri. Go away. Nope. There we go. Right. That shouldn't happen again. So I don't know. Should we talk trailers?
Yeah, what trailers have you been watching?
So there was one that popped up on YouTube a couple hours back for a Netflix film, Uncorked.
Ooh, not seen this. What's that?
Basically, guy who his dad, who I think is played by Courtney B. Vance, if I remember correctly. His dad is like a kind of like an eatery owner, and the eatery's been in the family for like decades. But his son wants to become a wine sommelier, and it's like, so, and it's kind of like, does he? What's he going to do? Is he going to follow in the family tradition of kind of like good like home cooking, or is he going to go on the path of his dream and like becoming a sommelier? It's, I don't know. The trailer looks pretty good. I'm up for that. Like an urban guy like living his dream and becoming a wine expert. I'll watch that.
One of those things that I think I'll certainly give a go. It sounds like a healthy Tuesday night movie.
Yeah, straight up. I mean, it's on Netflix. It's not going to cost you any extra, is it? So, you know. I think, to be honest, I've only got one other, if I remember correctly. But maybe I'm missing something.
Two more.
Go on.
The final trailer for Black Widow.
Yeah, that was the other one for me. Yeah.
I kind of want them to just get the movie out now so we can stop watching trailers, because with every trailer that comes out, I get more and more worried.
How obvious is it that Rachel Weisz is going to be the bad guy?
Oh, very obvious, yeah. And also, as well, Florence Pugh's, the fact that in the opening of this trailer, it's Florence Pugh talking, and you go, all right, so you're literally just going to lose your accent midway through words now.
Yeah, it's
ropey.
I do feel sorry for Scarlett Johansson, because it's like, you've got this film which is finally Black Widow getting a solo movie, and it basically looks like it's a pilot for Florence Pugh and her wonderful thighs.
But the thing is, there's certain things like when people keep going, oh, we need a Loki movie, we need a Black Widow movie, we need a Hulk movie on their own. It's like there's ones where these are all the ones where I've been going, I don't think we do. I just don't think we do. Yeah, and the thing is, I don't think we do need this movie. I watch it and I hope it's good, but I don't think we need it. It's not because Black Widow isn't an interesting character or anything like that, but it's just it's just, I'm just not sure that we need that character. I think that character's done enough over the course of this many movies. And also, does it appear like one of them has Cap's shield in this?
Well, I like the Red Guardian. I want to say his name is. He's basically like, he was supposed to be Russia's Captain America, but now he's a schlubby David Harbour. To be honest, I'm kind of into that.
And the thing is, I'm kind of into it, but it feels like a little bit, you know, like Kingsman is an anti-Bond movie in the sense that it's using Bond tropes to take the piss, but also essentially just making a Bond movie, but winking at itself rapidly, and it works. This feels a little bit like that.
Yeah. It's an odd year for Marvel where they've slightly got to reset things.
The thing is with it though is I'm looking at it going, I don't think that looks really good, that good, but I do think I'm going to enjoy it because let's be honest, Scarlett Johansson is a definitely watchable actress.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. It's I'm looking forward to it. The idea of Kate Shortland doing a Marvel film, knowing that she does genre work well, I'm intrigued. I'm more intrigued to see what she does with this than I would be for like Ryan Fleck and Anna Boden. No, or is it Ryan Fleck and Anna Boden or Anna? Yeah. What they did with Captain Marvel. I'm more interested to see Kate Shortland make a Marvel movie.
That's a lot of interest, more. Yeah, that's it. I'm looking at it going, I have a feeling a lot of the action is in the trailer. That makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, I kind of want more of the what looks to be like interesting family dynamics.
Yeah.
And even though it does kind of look like that Red Room thing that they do in the trailer, it does look very what Red Sparrow was doing. But I am looking forward to it. I am really, I'm bang up for some big blockbuster action now. It feels like it's been a while since we had a big blockbuster. I mean, it would have been Rise of Skywalker or Jumanji. It's we've had a couple months.
6 months, yeah. I'm just looking here. I've just looked on the IMDb to see if there's any runtime out yet, and there isn't. However, it does give away that this film apparently is set in between Civil War and Infinity War.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. Well, I mean it would have to be set before Infinity War.
Yeah,
and Endgame. No. I suppose it could be. Well, it would be weird if it was set between Infinity War and Endgame, to be fair. But
I wouldn't actually mind that film, actually. That film about her just in a procedural nightmare, just trying to hold it together.
I mean, you never know. They could do a TV series there. It's who's to say? I mean, it feels like there's going to be a lot of attention on MCU characters in Disney Plus shows now as well.
I'm just looking at it. It is mental that Kate Shortland's making this movie.
Oh yeah. I mean, to be fair, Chloe Zhao making Eternals.
Yeah.
I want to say she's made a film previous to this which isn't out yet, but I think the film before it was the Rider, which I haven't seen and I know I should. And a lot of people have been are very big on that, but it's like as weirder choices. The Rider, that's right. As weirder choices Kate Shortland is, it kind of feels like Chloe Zhao is a weirder choice. But I mean, this is what I think is interesting about this year with Marvel, where a lot of people, like I saw somebody tweeting earlier on saying, "Oh, Marvel should have given it a rest for 2 or 3 years and let things reset." Blah blah blah. If the options are these two female filmmakers make these films, and in the end of the day, it's not your money that they're spending to fucking make it. It's not like you are paying it out of your taxes. And see some interest. And if they don't work, then fair enough. If they do, then holy shit, what is that going to do for their careers? And then we can go back to Doctor Strange 2 and 4 and probably Spider-Man 3 next year. And by the way, Christian Bale cast as the villain in the new 4 film. Go on then.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Go on then.
Yeah, fine. Why not?
That's going to be weird watching Christian Bale just have a lot of fun in a movie. 'Cause I think the last movie he had genuine just fun in was probably The Big Short.
I don't know, man. He has his moments in Le Mans 66. Yeah, so I mean, Le Mans 66. Did you see that in the end?
I've not seen it, but I think it's coming on iTunes today.
Yeah, it's on iTunes to buy now, so it'll probably be to rent in a week or two. He's having a good time in that. I'll rent next week. Yeah, you'll enjoy Le Mans 66. So I don't know. I'm up for this year in Marvel where they heavily push their Disney Plus output and let some interesting choices make the films. And then we take it from there. I'm more interested in Eternals. I think just because it's characters, I've got no idea who the fucking characters are. And we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I say at least it's interesting.
Yeah. What was the other trailer you had?
The other trailer I had was Greyhound.
Fuck me, man. I completely blanked on this. So this is written by and starring Tom Hanks.
It is indeed, yes.
Who the fuck's directing it?
It is directed by Snyder.
Okay,
He directed Get Low.
Get Low. What was that?
It was the one with Robert Duvall and Bill Murray.
Fairly sure I've seen that.
Yeah, I think we spoke about it, but that was like 11 years ago.
Wow. Like, yeah, I'm pretty fucking sure I saw that, but I could not tell you anything about it.
He was second unit on Final Destination 5.
Oh yeah, he was a camera operator on Into the Storm as well. Like that's a career, that is.
Yep.
That's funny.
Fair enough. All about the guy.
How does it look?
I mean, it looks like a lot of these, this current crop of CGI'd war movies where they all have the same kind of palette to them. It looks like that, but it appears like it's a battle film, a little bit like like Fury was, where it was essentially like a tank battles. It looks like it's that, but it's a warship against U-boats.
Okay.
So it's going for more, I think, entertainment than anything else. Stephen Graham and Tom Hanks as ship captains warring out against U-boats. I'm quite up for that, actually. I think it looks all right.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds all right. That sounds all right.
Yeah.
And that's like a kind of like a low key summer film as well, eh?
Yeah, it would appear so. Yeah. So I'm a little bit like it's come out of nowhere a little bit that, and because I think he's written a couple of films as Hanks, but he doesn't do that many.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it looks all right.
Nice. Okay. No, I'll be up for that. I should really catch up with the trailer then.
Mid-budget, 50 million.
Fair enough. Oh, that'll do fine.
Yeah. It's shot by the same guy who shot not a lot. The House Bunny.
He shot the house, but fucking hell, man. Film careers are weird.
Yeah.
Like you do have to remember that it's like a lot of these people are self-employed and they just have to find work where they can. So, you can direct Get Low, you can direct Greyhound, but you can also work on The House Bunny and a Final Destination film. Yeah, it's something.
It's also one of those things, I think, when you look at like composers, and you'll see like certain composers or cinematographers, actually, this happening to come up with it as well, where you'll look at it and you'll go, oh, it's shot by blah, and you'll go, who also shot what?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, that's so funny. Like, because it just reminds me of whenever I watch either of the Secret Life of Pets films, and it says music by Alexandre Desplat, and it's like, mate, what the fuck are you doing? And it's like the score for those films is actually really good. Like, it's quite catchy. But it's like, are you? And it makes you wonder, like, if he's working on a Wes Anderson film, say, and then he works on A Secret Life of Pets, what's he getting paid more on? And I bet it's The Secret Life of Pets. It's like The Secret Life of Pets is one for them. But he's still he's still able to kind of express himself through it. I mean, to be fair, I'd say The Secret Life of Pets is a more memorable score than the score for Little Women. He got Oscar nominated for that fucker. And I love Little Women, but the score is not one of the best elements of it. He should have got nominated for Secret Life of Pets too, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's like the Shailene Woodley and Sam Claflin movie, Adrift, which I actually quite liked.
Yeah.
So directed by Balthazar Kofmakar, who made Two Guns.
He did Contraband as well, didn't he?
And Contraband, both entertaining movies. Shot by...
Go on.
Robert Richardson.
Yeah, I mean, what's that about? That's brilliant.
So, one of the greatest cinematographers of all time, Robert Richardson, shoots that. And then his next movie he shoots is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That's fucking crazy. I mean,
he's in between movies. In between that, he had I mean, yeah. So, Hateful Eight, Live by the Night, The Return, which is a documentary. Breathe.
What, the Andy Serkis one?
Andy Serkis movie, yeah.
Wow, we.
It's just you get these things, like I say, you kind of forget that these guys are just, yes, they get paid a lot of money, but they don't get paid the same amount as actors and directors and things like that. So, they have to work.
But I mean, it's fascinating though, because I'm looking at Alexandre Desplat, and it's like the Secret Life of Pets films, both of them he did, and no other kids films until like before, and you got 2012, he did Rise of the Guardians, but then that was produced by Guillermo del Toro. You kind of understand that. It's what the fuck is it about the Secret Life of Pets where he's like, yeah, I'll do 1 and 2.
Yep. So weird.
Fascinating. And he's doing the score for Black Widow.
Yep.
So that's probably going to be a bit of a banger, that score. Interesting.
I'm now going to keep my eye out for it when I'm doing like old watches. Keep my eye out for random cinematographers and scores and bits like that.
But it's like, what were we saying on the last Playing It Forward about Beat?
Yeah.
Didn't that have some wasn't it I want to say that was edited by Walter Murch or some shit.
It was something like that, wasn't it?
Like, oh fuck, I gotta look that up as well. And like Thelma Schoonmaker did the bloody Snowman, and that's just what the how did Thelma Schoonmaker do the Snowman? Right. Sorry, I need to look this up. Like editing by.
It's not actually. I've just had a look. It's by Peter B.
Oh no. But there's something where it was like a holy shit. What's that person doing on this film? And what? Oh, I've got to look this up. Was it not Beat? No. Hang on. What was the Dirty? Was it Dirty? I swear, one of the Playing It Forwards. I'm so, because this is so boring for people, but this is really doing my head in. Was it? Maybe it was Dirty that had a really weird credit. Nope. Cinematography by. Nope. Oh my god. Right, what's Walter Murch actually edited?
I'm going to say we're best checking what Walter Murch has edited, don't we, first? There was one recently with Walter Murch that there really was. That we did recently.
He's got so many bloody credits.
Romeo's Bleeding.
Romeo is Bleeding. That was it. Like, how is the man who, did Apocalypse Now and like all the work on THX 1138 and whatnot? How? My only thinking is Peter Medak. He was kind of all over the place, wasn't he? Like I seem to remember he was quite popular in Hollywood, and it might well be that he was just like a mate or something, and it's yeah, I don't know. It's just Walter Murch edited Romeo is Bleeding. That's wild.
Yeah, 3 times an Oscar winner.
Wow. Anyway, yeah, thank you, because that's really put my mind at rest. Who the fuck shot Beat?
It wasn't random.
No, okay, it was a random. Because again, there's something where it's like I noticed Darius Konji shot it. It was like, what are you doing shooting that? And I can't remember what it was now. Anyway, moving on. No, I'm just going to try and forget about that.
Fantasy Island.
Obviously, the fantasy won't be real, but that's why we go to horror movies and ride roller coasters, right? To feel something?
I'd like to think that this is more exciting than riding a roller coaster. Mr. Sullivan, do you mind giving us some privacy? I need to give Miss Cole instructions.
No, it's okay. He knows about Sloan. I'm owning it.
Okay. In the lobby, there is an elevator. Inside, push the button for the floor with no name.
Can I record it with my phone so I can remember it?
Fantasy Island is a
What the
remake
fuck
of
is anyone doing shooting Fantasy Island, quite frankly? But, you know.
It's a reimagining to the TV series of the same name. It is written and directed by Jeff Wadlow, and we have stars Michael Pena, Maggie Q, Lucy Hale, Austin Stowell, Porsche Doubleday, Jimmy O Yang, Michael Rooker. Jimmy O Yang, also known as Jin Yang from Silicon Valley, and I genuinely couldn't disassociate him from Jin Yang from what's it. Did you watch the last series of Silicon Valley?
No.
Jin Yang plays a more pivotal part in the last series of Silicon Valley, but isn't in it much, but plays a more pivotal part in it. And are you bothered about the end of Silicon Valley?
Not really. Go on.
Right. Brief spoiler for anybody who hasn't watched the last of Silicon Valley. It literally ends with Jin Yang essentially taking over Earl Bachman's essentially life, so he can essentially he can use his credit rating to get away with crimes all over the world.
What he kind of takes over the T.J. Miller characters?
Yeah,
it was that Bachman. Yeah. Okay.
So I couldn't disassociate that. It's quite amusing. So what is it? Fantasy Island is it's an island that has been turned into a resort and run by Michael Pena's character, Mr. Rourke, who invites guests there and they get to live out their fantasy. Each guest gets one fantasy and they cannot change their fantasy. They're going to get to have one fantasy and they have to see it to their conclusion. So we'll get into what various people have that come along as they go. But first of all, Ian, what did you think of Fantasy Island?
Fantasy Island had about 10 times more plot than I ever expected it to. There's so much plot in this film. There's so much stuff going on, like kind of like little reveals about characters and twists and like ideas that just aren't fully formed. And it's, I mean, hats off to them for just. It feels like a bit of a swing. This does, like, there's a lot going on, but barely any of it lands in any kind of success, even close to successful way. It felt as long as The Irishman to me. And I was really up for it going in. Like, I went to see it on a Saturday afternoon. I was up for some trashy bollocks horror. And, it's not scary in the slightest. It's not particularly thrilling. And I felt like a fucking idiot for not getting that Lucy Hale was the bad guy. But then
I literally, me and Bex, literally within the first 5 minutes, were like, so this is all, and basically worked it out, and we're like, yeah, it's pretty much going to be that. And then pretty much it all happened. It
just like, because there's the one moment early on, when she is really full on with that one guy who's like the soldier, where she basically just offers herself up. And that was a weird character point. And then the rest of the time, her character is fairly consistent until the reveal of, oh, actually, she's the one who kind of orchestrated it all along. It's so messy. It doesn't seem to really know whether Michael Pena is a good guy or a bad guy, and then just seems to flip a coin at the end and go, he's good. But it sets up a sequel at the end. I mean, the tea bit at the end. Like, Jesus Christ. I thought they'd forgotten that because they mentioned it a couple times early on. And then it's kind of revealed at the end. It's like, what? So the sequel is going to be Michael Pena and Jimmy O Yang welcoming people to Fantasy Island, and then there being kind of like moral quandaries.
Yes, it would appear like that is going to be the idea behind it.
It just seems like you're setting up a sequel that will be more boring because, like, what the nature of the island is completely revealed in this film.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like at Bobbins, but again, I'm comparing all Bobbins to The Grudge when I say it's not Bobbins that I actively hated, but I was bored.
I really liked it.
Fuck's sake, Mark. Right, fine. Good man. Go on.
In the sense that I don't know why, but I kind of got on with the outright stupidity of it all and the randomness of it all, and then the fact that it's not very good. There's no getting away from that. It's not very good, and everything that Ian says is right. But for some reason, I like the fact that it's, if anything, it's not a horror movie. Like I say, it's not a thriller. If anything, it's closer to being a comedy than anything else.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I like the fact that you've got, and that's even backed up by the fact that you've got Michael Pena there, who literally seems like he's on the cusp of laughing throughout the entire thing.
Yeah.
And the same when Kim Coates arrives, and he seems like I think that Jeff Wadler went, right, Kim, you're basically in a comedy, and he's gone, all right, is this like a horror movie? And they've gone, no, we want comedy levels of sinister, because you remember, you're not real. He's like, all right, but you are, but you're not.
I mean, that's a whole thing in itself. Like, yeah. The fact that those things don't know that they're not real. So it's like the supermodels and whatnot, they're in the panic room that just like escape. What happened to them?
Exactly. Where do all these people go? What did they just... Right. Also, right. Now I picked up on this, and you hear something and you go, what? Michael Rooker, right, in this, plays the crazy guy that knows what's going on and everything like this, right? And he's proper dishevelled, and he looks gnarly, and he's seen shit, and then goes, I came to the island 2 weeks ago. You're looking going, it's taken 2 weeks for that to happen.
Yeah.
How shit did you look beforehand?
Yeah, that's a good
got away with it. But they went 2 weeks.
I mean, good for you, Mark. Like, it just, to be fair, if it was like 85, 90 minutes long, I think I would have been far more comfortable with it. But it's getting on for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And
we've been on for 2 hours.
It's like, do you maybe cut one of the characters? Like,
no, I think you could cut a little. We're talking about Frankenstein. Ian wasn't a fan, and I really quite liked it. What did you think, Bex?
I really liked it. I liked the take on the quite an old story, isn't it? So,
well, yeah, it's on TV series in the 70s.
Yeah, I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. Were you not keen?
It felt like it was as long as The Irishman to me. I was pretty willing for it to get on with it in like the middle third or so. Like I towards the end, where it's revealed that Lucy Hale's the bad guy and whatnot, I thought it kind of ramped up quite well there. The Maggie Q subplot I kind of thought belonged in maybe a classier version of this. Because I mean, like the soldier and the dad, whatever. Jimmy O Yang and his brother just like hanging out. That's all right. Lucy Hale and Portia Doubleday, good little tag team. It just, there too much happened in it, and I would have been way happier if it was an hour and a half and out.
I will say, you're saying, could you cut one of the characters out of it? There is a character you could cut out of it.
Michael Rooker?
No, you can't cut Rooks. Can't cut the Rook. You could cut the soldier guy out quite easily.
Yeah.
His fantasy, A, was boring. B, I don't think made that much sense. And C, it did nothing.
Why did it not make sense?
He
thought his fantasy was to play soldier, but in reality, his fantasy was to see his dad again.
Yeah, no, but I didn't need that. I didn't need that info. What is it? What I was saying here is, if you're talking about it as, if you're taking a TV series and you're going, right, it's episodic, so each one of these would be an episode, fair enough. But that episode would be the most boring episode of that series, if that was a series, let's say. It would be the dullest of those, because it was trying to put a little bit too much kind of weight into it, and I just didn't care enough about it. It's like,
But you need his character though. He's like the pussy policeman that will go in and save him.
right, but you don't have to tell as much of his story for that.
Yeah, I mean, like, to be fair, it's just the fact that, as well as having the regret over the dad stuff, is also the regret about the not saving the kid. And it's like, there's an argument to say, well, do you not have his fantasy just be that he went in and saved the kid? But then I suppose it's like, how do you beef that up with the runtime? But then it you know, there's, like I say, there's so much going on with this film. You've got Maggie Q's subplot. You've got Lucy Hale's subplot, which turns into she's the bad guy because of X, Y, and Z. You've got Jimmy O Yang and his brother starting off like living the high life, and then the compound being invaded by Kim Coates and crew. You know, you've got the Soldier Boy and his dad. You've got Mr. Rourke being all mysterious. There's just so much going on in this film, and in the end, it's just all in the service of, all right, well, we know what the island's all about. We know any future sequels, it's probably going to be that there's some grand conspiracy at the heart of it all, and Mr. Rourke is not really at the heart of it all. I mean, I was saying when you were off mic, Bex, it's like the ending sets up a way less interesting sequel.
Yeah.
Like you've had the mystery of Fantasy Island kind of answered within the context of the film's world. And now what? You're going to get Jimmy O... I mean, to be fair, if it was a Michael Pena and Jimmy O Yang just kind of like buddy comedy and they went light-hearted with the next one, I'd be down for that.
That's where they'd have to go with it. They'd have to go a little bit like it's like essentially Jimmy O Yang, because Michael Pena can no longer see his wife. Jimmy O Yang just gets him in a weed, and they just invite people there, and then just kind of like fuck around, work out how to sort of like mix up the fantasies and bits like that, and just fuck around with people. I'd watch the shit out of that.
I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Ways a sequel could take it. Obviously, where does the actual power for the island come from? Does the island get nasty with them because they haven't done that? You know, he lost his wife because he didn't see through that fantasy. Blah 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 blah. There are various ways they can take it.
I want it to come back and it to be Jin Yang and Michael Pena from Jexy.
I mean, I wouldn't watch that movie.
I would.
No.
It sounds like a perfect movie.
You are right though, Ian, in that Maggie Q's kind of arc feels like it's from a bit of a different movie. Like she seems to be under the impression she's in a different movie than she is.
Has Maggie Q ever? And I've got my Maggie Q, but has Maggie Q ever been in a movie where you watched it and you don't think she seems like she should be in another movie?
She's just too classy for this fucking world, isn't she?
There is a point where you see one around and it's like she's almost going, why am I in this? And then you're looking at it thinking, because you're not actually a big star, Maggie.
Yeah, I mean, I
a real quality to her that she just kind of floats around being gorgeous and classy.
I mean that's the thing, and she was perfect in Mission Impossible 3 for that. Like she's good in Mission Impossible 3. It's weird that because she's not in any of the others, is she?
No.
Because it's Paula Patton in Ghost Protocol, isn't it?
Yes. And then very good. It should have been Maggie Q in that.
Yeah, and then Rogue Nation, they kind of like jettison all the other female characters because Rebecca Ferguson comes into it. Yeah.
You jettison pretty much anybody. What is it, including Maggie Q?
For Rose the Hat.
Yeah. I wish she'd stop going by Maggie Q.
I mean, Quigley's not a very superstar-y name, though, is it?
Yeah, no, but still, just go by it. Don't or have a what is it? Don't just go by Maggie Q. It sounds very early noughties.
To be fair, the spell does break when you say her surname is Quigley.
Yeah.
Then just go by I mean, her name is actually Margaret Denise Quigley. You just change your name, but don't change it to Maggie something, but not Maggie Q. It just seems a bit McG.
Maybe that's what she's going for.
But but it's not 2003 anymore.
Can I ask a question?
No.
Is him having the tattoo and being called is that an Easter egg?
Yeah, because the character
I never watched the TV series.
I never watched it, but I have Michelle is the little whatever the plane.
That's where it's from.
Yes, that's what it's from. That's why he keeps shouting the plane.
Yeah, a lot of people shout the plane in this film. To be fair,
but he's tattoo.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's why I laughed heartily.
It's like, again, I would watch Blumhouse's fantasy. I love the fact it's Blumhouse's Fantasy Island.
Yeah,
like
that's very good.
Because it's like Wadlow's last one was Blumhouse's Truth or Dare. It's just like whenever Jeff Wadlow does one, he just sticks Blumhouse's on the front.
I said to you when we came out of the film, I feel like they need to stop trying to make Lucy Hale happen. She's not a good actress, and the fact that she is the crux of this movie it detracts from it.
She looks a little bit like she's trying, like she's like literally her entire face is a battle against scowling and not scowling. So all of her face is trying to scowl all of her features right into the middle of her face, and she's having to constantly battle to stop it all happening.
I did like the throwback element that the bad guy in this was basically crazy white woman.
Yeah, I quite like that.
It's as simple as that, like, and just that little detail about the fact that she literally went for one date with that guy.
Yeah.
I like the fact that the policeman points that out.
No, it isn't. It's Jin Yang who points it out.
We need to stop calling him Jin Yang.
No. She just says, I mean, one date? It didn't even sound like it was a date. They just ran into each other.
Yeah.
Do you know what I worked out she looks like? You know in The Simpsons where Homer eats that incredibly sour gobstopper and it makes his face go into itself? Mm-hmm. She looks a little bit like that.
Yeah.
That's harsh.
That is harsh.
It's true though, isn't it?
I mean, I'm just not keen for Lucy Hale.
But you watched Pretty Little Liars and I haven't, and Ian might have. I doubt it.
No, you could. Yeah, you'd be right.
Yeah.
In Pretty Little Liars, that's probably partly why I don't like her.
And I'm geostorming it because I can't say it's definitely not shit because it is a bit shit, but I did enjoy it. And I will watch the sequel. I do hope there is a sequel.
I'm definitely not shit on it. It's a bit messy, but I enjoyed it. It was a fun time.
I'm definitely shit, but it's again. I think you weren't on mic at the time, Bex, but like for me, my barometer is The Grudge now. It's like anything which doesn't make me as angry as The Grudge did. Like it can still be shit, but I didn't aggressively hate it. You know, like it could be in my bottom 10 of the year, like towards the top of that, I suppose. But it was just like if you shave 20 minutes off of it, I'd probably be going into touching cloth territory.
Well, our audience vote was definitely not shit 50% and shit 50%.
There you go.
Yep.
Are you tired of film podcasts where the hosts exist in a constant blissful state of agreement?
I mean, the main characters are two of the dullest main characters I have ever encountered in any film.
Well, you're in luck. Let me introduce you to Chinstroker and Punter. One is an ex-film student with a penchant for David Lynch and art cinema. The other is a man on the street. Listen in perplexed and horrified terror as we tear apart one film a week.
It just really
It's
isn't.
not visually striking.
No.
Just getting confirmation.
It's just that's the third time though. I mean, is this on?
You can find us at csvsp.libsyn.com. So come and share the victory.
If you could fuck any man in film, who would it be and why?
My answer is Lance Henriksen.
Oh!
He wouldn't tell. He looks like somebody. He looks like somebody who can keep a secret.
You like the 1980s, don't you? Of course you do. We all do. But have you ever wondered why that decade was the way it was? Have you ever wished there was somewhere you could go to get past the usual day-glow sentimentality? To try and understand 1980s pop culture in a more social, political and historical context? Because if so, it sounds to me like you're ready to go beyond the aesthetics, beyond the nostalgia. Welcome to Beyond the Neon. Beyond the Neon. Beyond the Neon is the podcast that dares to pull over the Testarossa, eject the Wham cassette, and take off the Wayfarers. If you're looking for retro reviews of Back to the Future, The Goonies, or John Hughes movies, you will not find that here. If you're looking for top 10 lists of A-Team episodes, Nintendo games, or Stranger Things references, you will not find that here. If you're looking for long, boring introductions, Squarespace ads, or Patreon begging, you will not find that here. Because Beyond the Neon, we do things a little differently. In each documentary-style episode, I look at one area of 1980s popular culture and break it right down. And each episode features academic insight, guest contributions and interviews, as well as clips plumbed from the depths of the 1980s cultural void. Well, YouTube, mainly YouTube, to help illustrate the wonderful, perplexing, terrifying, joyous and utterly thrilling world of 1980s pop culture. Beyond the Neon might not be as regular as other 1980s podcasts, but that's because Beyond the Neon isn't like other 1980s podcasts. Subscribe to the show today and check out all past episodes by visiting beyondtheneon.co.uk.
You're supposed to be his mentor. Create an atmosphere of responsible thought and action. Instead, you got two grown men running around playing Batman.
We're not playing Batman, okay?
This is Batman business all the way. Got you and Big Boy over here running through Boston all Robined up.
I am not Robin.
And Alfred over here.
Oh, Jesus.
You are an enabling Alfred. You gave him the keys to the Batmobile.
The river's not the Batmobile.
Well, it serves the same purpose.
Right, moving on to our second feature review, which is the Peter Berg, the Wahlberg partnership. What?
Nice.
Wahlberg?
No, that was bad.
Wahlberg.
Yeah,
Peter, student of Michael Mann Berg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So, Spenser Confidential is directed by Peter Berg and written by Brian Hageland. I just saw. Stars Mark Wahlberg, Winston Duke, Alan Arkin, Buckham Woodbine, who's getting a lot at the moment, actually. I've seen him in a lot. And what is it? Eliza Sesslinger? She's a comedian, isn't she?
Mm.
She's like a stand-up. I'm sure she is. Well, she is. Let's say she is. And Mark Maron, randomly. So what is Spenser Confidential? Spenser?
It's the pilot for a TV show that will soon be coming to CBS.
So, is that true?
No.
Oh, it could have been. Well, we will get to the most ballsy of sequel setups ever later on, I'm sure. Literally, if you ever thought that Marvel just set up, like, fucking, what is it, like, sequels during their movies and all this lot, and you thought, geez, that's ballsy. Nothing's as ballsy as the end of this movie.
Did you mention that Post Malone's in it?
Posty Malone's in it, yeah.
Oh shit! Is he the guy who's in jail?
Yes, he is.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Yeah, of course he is.
So Spenser, I don't think his surname is Confidential, and I don't know. His surname must be Spenser.
No, his surname is Spenser.
It is good because I'm looking at going. If not, his parents are from the deep projects of Boston because they can't fucking spell.
Why does he not get a first name, though?
I also commented, Becky asked me before we watched Spenser Confidential, what's it about? And what was my exact response to you, Becky? Based on the fact that I knew nothing about the movie other than that it was directed by Peter Berg and starred Mark Wahlberg. What did I say to you, Becky?
I don't know. Something with Boston.
Yep. What would you have it? It's set in Boston where Mark Wahlberg plays Spenser, could be any first name, a disgraced police officer who is sent to prison for beating the living shit out of one of his superiors.
Oh, his captain.
His captain, who he suspects of essentially botching a murder inquiry.
Well, not botching, covering up.
All right, covering up.
And then beating the shit out of
He
his
thinks
wife.
he's botching it at the time.
Yeah.
And then we fast forward to 5 years' time, and the same police officer that he beat the shit out of now dies on the day that he gets released from prison.
On the same day.
On the same day.
Fucking hell.
And so
prime suspect right
he's
there.
the prime suspect, and so he decides to start looking into what might be going on with the aid of his new roomie, Winston Duke. Becky, what do you think to Spenser Confidential?
Like, I kind of enjoyed it, but it's a real fucking mess, innit?
Yeah, is the answer.
There's weird continuity errors. There's like
the fact that it looks like they ran out of money 20 minutes before the end.
That big set piece sort of fight at the end looks like it suddenly becomes an ITV special. But the acting's all fine. Winston Duke was good. Marky Mark was good. What's her name? That comedian. She was funny.
Yeah.
All the dogs. The bit with the dog, and it turns out he was like a drug sniff dog. That was good.
Any scene that had Liza Schechlinger in it was fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, she was good. But yeah, I can't say it was a good film. Like, I enjoyed it well enough, and like, if I'm bored on a Sunday afternoon, I may well watch it again, but not because it was good.
Right, Ian, what did you think?
You did start again, by the way, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
It's like they made it for a bet.
It is. We want to make a Mark Wahlberg film, specifically a Mark Wahlberg film. No script, we're just going to make it up as we go along.
I mean, it's the most Mark Wahlberg that ever Wahlberged. It's...
Why is he essentially a superhero? Why is he like Hancock, but from Boston and a bit of a rogue?
I mean, it's like the film itself takes him deadly seriously. But then you've got Alan Arkin in it, just like every now and then, like popping up with some jokes, and then that title card at the end, LOBSTAH. Like at that point, you know, Peter Berg is just pissing himself, going like, I can't believe they let me do that. You know, it's like the directorial freedom that Netflix offers is something that a lot of directors have been very like passionate and effusive about. With this, Peter Berg has actively taken the piss. And I don't know whether Wahlberg is in on the joke or not, because he's always right. Every single institutional figure around him is either a joke or a fraud.
Yeah.
He basically is able to make a woman hate fuck him into orgasm in maybe 15 seconds.
Yeah, and literally she despises him, yet literally she goes in there just to get ploughed.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
He literally, the other bit there, he comes out and he's wearing that suit and like he's walking around going, look, I'm in a badass suit. And you look at it going, you know you shouldn't have a bad suit, mate. Stop wearing that one suit.
But then gets a new suit.
But yeah, the only thing that he seems to be, literally, women just fall at his feet. He can go full Bond whenever he wants and just beat the shit out of anybody, except a dog betters him.
That dog was really fucking going for it though.
Yeah, I mean that dog was a piece of work. I don't know, man. I mean, like Winston Duke's character, what is he there for? And I feel bad because I really like Winston Duke. I mean, shit, man, made such an impression in Black Panther. He's really good in Us, and in this, he's guy who barely speaks but stands next to Mark Wahlberg and occasionally punches someone.
I like the fact though that he wasn't emotionally invested in this whole journey until he heard about the kitten.
Yeah.
And then he's like, right, I'm fucking in. I'm going to scratch a picture of a kitten into this dude's car in full view of the salon that he sat in, because it's not like tucked to one side, it's right in front of the fucking window. But you wouldn't mess with him, would you?
No, and what was that guy's name? Tracksuit something.
Charlie.
Tracksuit Charlie. Do you know what the thing is? Spenser Confidential. Right, can I get to the ending where they basically set up a sequel? Where that's ambitious, isn't it? It's a trailer for the sequel. I watched it going, hang on a minute, you made the entire rest of the movie, and then thought, fucking sure thing. That literally, Wahlberg and Peter Berg have fucking walked in to Netflix's offices with that film in its fucking canisters on film because they don't know how Netflix actually works, slammed it on the desk and gone, we'll have to go and make the sequel, cut us a fucking check. And they've gone, is it that good? Yes.
And what's this one going to be about? Oh, it's going to be about a fire chief who's been framed. I don't know. It's just the way that I love the
fire chief who's been framed. All right, how long are they framed? Oh, we've got this. Spenser. Right, what? Is that his first name or his last name? Spenser went to school with him. Yeah. Boom. So does he know him? Well, I know him. He went to school with him. When? Well, like 30 years ago. Has he seen him since? Doesn't matter. He went to school with him. He's a good guy. It's Boston. And then they've just walked out.
Can I ask another question? When's it meant to be set? Is it meant to be set like
now?
Now, I think, yeah.
Right.
I mean, he's FaceTiming and shit.
Set in, say, 2020.
Right now, this minute it's set.
And when was the cloud,
the fucking wonder of the cloud.
I mean, it was a funny bit, but he's only been in prison 5 years.
5 years, you get over the cloud, probably. Maybe.
I mean, I think I was probably aware of the cloud as a storage thing.
Yeah, you were. Southie Bostoners weren't.
No.
I mean, to be fair, it's the analog hero in a digital world thing that Bruce Willis was doing in Die Hard 4.0 nearly 20 fucking years ago.
Yeah, but Bruce Willis is really old.
It's just, it's got all of the Wahlberg things in it. Oh, he's caring, but he can be really violent. But he's funny, but he's cool, but he's calm. Look, he's got his shirt off. And it's all of these things. I mean, nothing will better Mark Wahlberg with his shirt off than Date Night.
Yeah.
There's a brilliant moment in Date Night where he's got his shirt off and Steve Carell and Tina Fey are around. And Steve Carell says, will you just put a shirt on? And he just looks at him and goes, no.
I mean, that Wahlberg is at a point now where, I don't know, unless he works with some other directors that are going to push him in other directions, the only way his persona will work if it's in something taking the piss out of him. And in this film, it seems to genuinely like the character, but also respect the character. And it's just, I can't respect it. It's a fucking cardboard cutout of the fucking ejaculation dreams of a Bostonite. I mean, that sex scene is so grotty as well. I mean, yes, I am more conservative than the both of you with this kind of stuff, but the way that he's like, you got a bit on your dress, and she's like, it's a souvenir. That's just fucking grim.
You see,
is that not just grim?
No, I'll be honest, Lynch, I love that.
You're like, nice, get some.
I high-fived you.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
Fair enough.
I'd watch an entire movie about her dog grooming business.
Her successful business. She runs a successful business, Mark.
Yeah, I would watch an entire movie about that.
I know, so would I. But I mean, it just.
I'd watch
funnily enough, we were talking earlier on, before you were on Mike Bex, about filmmakers kind of like doing jobs for the money and seeing behind the camera people on weird projects. And Peter Berg is kind of a key example here, because what the fuck is he doing making what really looks like a direct-to-video action film that just so happens to star Mark Wahlberg, apart from the fact that he and Mark Wahlberg obviously get on, and frankly, it was probably a nice payday. Yeah, I mean, what the fuck? It's just what motivates them making this film apart from Mark Wahlberg going, make me look cool?
Sweet,
or is that it?
The fact is that since 2013, Peter Berg has made Lone Survivor, Deepwater Horizon, Patriots Day, and Mile 22. Now, Lone Survivor was quite well received, I believe, and made a decent amount of money. Deepwater Horizon is actually a lot better movie than anybody gives it credit for. It quietly is a really good movie.
Film.
Yeah, and
it's
it looks really good.
Film.
But didn't make enough money. Patriots Day kind of went without a blip, and Mile 22 was a bomb. So it seems a little bit like he needed the comfort of being able to make something that he didn't need to worry about it making money. But this will be heavily watched on Netflix.
Yeah.
But it's just such an odd one that he's gone from being. I mean, he doesn't react anymore. He just directs now.
Yeah.
But he's just had such an odd career.
I don't know. It like in the noughties, it kind of felt like he could be like the next great. Like I honestly, like the next great kind of Hollywood mainstream, not blockbuster, but kind of like in the middle filmmaker.
There was a point where it was kind of where it was a little bit like either him or Joe Carnahan were going to be the new Tony Scott.
There you go. That's great. That's fucking perfection. Chef's kiss, Mark. Well done.
And then, but like you say, it seems like what happened was he made Battleship.
God, yeah. I mean, he made Battleship. He made Hancock, didn't he? But
Yeah.
which I believe was produced by Michael Mann, because when that was called Tonight He Comes, I think Michael Mann was attached to it, and Michael Mann kind of stayed on.
And Battleship, of course, at one point that was going to be directed. That was linked to be directed at one point by Ridley Scott.
Mm.
But like stuff like The Kingdoms are really solid. Remember, again, Michael Mann directed The Kingdoms. I think he was going to make it at one point.
Yeah, because that's produced by Michael Mann, I want to say.
But I mean, like Very Bad Things, was his directorial debut.
And now he's and it's not like straight to Netflix. I'm not wanting to say it's like a derogatory kind of thing, but it's the combination of straight to Netflix and Mark Wahlberg Boston action film.
I mean, I still remember that to me, always Peter Berg will always be Mike from Last Seduction and Terry from The Great White Hype.
Nice.
Have you ever seen The Great White Hype?
No.
The Great White Hype is a thing. It really is a film to behold. It is one of Samuel Jackson's great lost performances.
Okay.
I love that movie. It's so mental.
Oh God, I don't know. I just feel really fucking. I mean, I say sorry for Peter Berg. I'm sure he's doing very well in Hollywood. Thank you very much. But just what kind of satisfaction comes from making Spenser Confidential for anyone but Mark Wahlberg?
Oh, I will guarantee you that gets us the sequel if that does happen on Netflix.
No, it will, because it kind of seems to have blown up in a little bit of a you've got to see this piece of shit. Like Donna had heard of it, and it's like I don't know when the last time she would have heard of a Mark Wahlberg starring film was, quite frankly. But she was like, "Oh, that's that one that's been getting really bad reviews, isn't it?" And it's like, yeah.
But Netflix are not bothered about things getting bad reviews. It literally is, will people watch this?
That's the thing. They want people to talk about the films. They don't necessarily care about whether because of how good it is or how bad it is, as long as they're talking about it. And that produces some interesting content.
Well, I was reading an interview with one of the guys. I can't remember which one it is. One of the guys behind Netflix, one of the runners of Netflix.
Yeah.
There's two of them that always do interviews. I can't remember which one it was, but him.
Ted Sarandos.
Huh?
Ted Sarandos.
It could have been, yeah. And he was basically, they were asking her about the fact that, because Mark Wahlberg essentially signed a contract with Netflix, so he's doing a couple of Netflix movies.
Is he Adam Sandler?
In the same way as Sandler did. And they asked about this, and they said, how do you pick these guys? And he said, it's really simple. If any Adam Sandler movies that are on Netflix are always the most watched. They're always in the top 20 most watched movies over a year. Not in like any particular week, but over a year. He said there's always, if we had 5 Adam Sandler movies on there, 4 of those movies would be in the top 20 most watched in any year, over the year. He said, and if we put a Mark Wahlberg movie on, the same thing happens. It's always the what. He said, so he said it doesn't matter whether people often say about Adam Sandler or people weren't going to cinema anymore. It doesn't matter. People still watched it. He said it's the same as. Do you know that 50 First Dates was one of the biggest selling DVDs out there? Wow. He said these are the things. He said The Wedding Singer was one of the best selling VHSs of all time. He said it's these things, and people want to watch it, and we provide a content platform for people to watch these things, and they re-watch them. And that's what it is. It's a random thing, It's would I have felt less to Spenser Confidential if I'd seen it in the cinema? Probably, but I didn't. I got to watch it as part of my Netflix subscription at home, and I'm fine with that. Yeah. In saying that, I'm geostorming it. I'm double geostorming this week.
Yeah, I think I maybe geostorm on this one. It was fun enough, but it was crap.
It was shit, but I had a really good time watching it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm 100% definitely not definitely shit.
That's fine.
You've not had a good week this week, have you?
I think out of the three of us, Ian, I think you're right. I think you're right on both counts of these movies.
Alex Garland wasn't shit.
I think it very much is the fact that I'm very forgiving on some movies. Ian, what have you been watching this week?
So I've only got a couple actually. I had been watching Bond films, but hey, fuck me, I guess. So I rewatched The House, which we reviewed a year or two ago. That film I think might be the underrated studio comedy of the last decade. That film is fucking hilarious.
What's it one? Will Ferrell one?
Yeah.
Oh, I really like The House.
The thing is, Jason Mantzoukas is my boy. I fucking love that guy. And him and Will Ferrell and Amy Poehler together are good times for me.
We've just been rewatching, because we kind of fell out of the floor with Brooklyn Nine-Nine, didn't we?
Yeah.
But we like to have like a half-an-hour show on the go, don't we?
Yeah.
So it's something, if you haven't got time to watch a film, but you can quickly throw something on just to...
Or it's something you don't have to think about to put on while you're having dinner, and then you can pick a film.
So we've been rewatching all of Brooklyn Nine-Nine that's on Netflix.
Yeah, I'm right with you.
And it's mental to see how...
the evolution of him into...
The evolution of his character in Brooklyn Nine-Nine essentially just become Raffi from The League.
Have you watched The League, Ian?
No. Is he in The League?
Yeah, he's in The League. He plays a character called Raffi that comes into it sort of late season 1, early season 2.
Like
and then
Pinata.
Gradually gets more, what is it? But if you take Pimento and all of the madness and the weirdness and times it by about 100, and you've got Raffi.
Yeah, because it starts off, Pimento's like, he's just a bit fucking fucked, but he's not like necessarily gross as such. He's just a bit fucking wrong. But then like towards the end of the bits that are on Netflix, he's just Raffi.
Yeah, he just basically becomes Raffi.
Yeah. There's a really good one as well with Raffi in The League.
Yeah, with Raffi. There's an entire episode of The League where Raffi and his mate Dirty Randy, played by Seth Rogen, have a side mission.
Oh God, okay, that sounds pretty good.
Raffi's easily the best thing in The League, though.
Yeah, it is. Sorry, I interrupted there, but The House. Carry on.
Yeah, it's Adrian Pimento in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He's amazing. So yeah, it's less than an hour and a half long. It's very in and out. Will Ferrell becoming the Butcher is amazing.
By accident as well.
Yeah. Oh God. Like the whole thing with him with the Italian, like the women's sunglasses and the women's cigarette, and he still kind of does look like a boss. It's great. It makes me laugh a lot. Does the house? Like there's kind of an extended bit where someone's looking for the money that's locked in the safe, and Will Ferrell just can't help but look at the painting that the safes are behind, and then it's like, okay, what's the combination? I'm not going to tell you. And then fucking Jason Mantzoukas is just looking at another picture. Then they look behind the picture, and the safe combination is just written on a post-it. Like it's a fucking good time. Like the way that Jeremy Renner is set on fire, and then they chuck vodka on him, and then chuck more vodka on him. Sorry?
They roll him up the carpet.
Yeah, and it's like, that's polyester, and it just like fucking explodes. It's great. That film is a good time, and it died a death at the box office, and it's on Netflix. Sorry.
It got released in a really weird way, though, didn't it? Like, it wasn't it. I think you could watch it for like the first week of its release on Sky or something like that.
Oh, I don't know. I remember it tanked in the US. I don't know about the UK. But it's on Netflix now in the UK. And if you haven't seen it, I don't know. If the idea of Will Ferrell, Amy Poehler, and Jason Mantzoukas together makes you think that will be funny, then give it a watch, because it will be.
Yeah, it's a good time.
And I also watched. So a review of this is going up on Vodzilla at some point. This played Fright Fest Glasgow over the weekend. VFW. So this is directed by Joe Begos. I like he's made a couple of horror films, and he's a bit of an up and comer basically, and essentially he's made a homage to Assault on Precinct 13. But here is the cast: Stephen Lang, William Sadler, Fred Williamson, David Patrick Kelly, and Cheers' George Wendt.
And Martin Cove's in there as well.
Yeah, Martin Cove's in there as well. Yeah.
Look, I am very interested in this.
Yeah, so basically, story is, Mark, you will get a kick out of this. Story is, there's a drug called, I think, Hyper, I want to say, which like people are like addicted to. This girl, at the beginning, a girl is basically killed by a drug dealer. Her sister steals a load of the drugs. At the same time, across the street from the club is the VFW bar, the Veterans of Foreign Wars. Stephen Lang is kind of like the landlord of the bar. Fred Williamson, David Patrick Kelly, Martin Cove, etc. are patrons of the bar. And the girl kind of runs into the bar and is chased by people who are basically chasing after her to get the drugs, and it essentially turns into a bit of an Assault on Precinct 13 situation. But, Stephen Lang is the Vietnam War vet bar owner who, is chill, but there's a fire inside him. Fred Williamson is his veteran mate, and Martin Cove's like this sleazy businessman you don't know whether he's gonna like turn or not. And then David Patrick Kelly and George Wendt are just like patrons of the bar. It's more successful in the just watching these guys hang out and watching them kick ass than it is in the villains. The villains are very, like, if you just imagine kind of like slightly post-apocalyptic-y kind of punks, that's basically them. It kind of feels like you could get their costumes at a fancy dress shop. But watching Stephen Lang and Williamson and Cove and Kelly and whatnot just like having a laugh and beating the shit out of younger guys, there's merit to that for sure. Lang's really good he's really, really committed, and there's like, there's shit in his basement throughout the entire film that's just kind of waiting to come out. And when it does, it's great. It's very obviously very low budget. It's the kind of thing where if you saw it at Fright Fest, it would probably be one of the best films of the festival. Outside of Fright Fest, it's a fun, disposable time that, if you are so inclined, you will get a huge kick out of. I really enjoyed it. To be honest, I wish it had a bit of a larger budget, and it's very dark. It looks like they're trying to hide some of the lack of production budget in just how dark a lot of it is, which is a shame. But there's some real gold in there as well. You will enjoy it, Mark.
Nice. I'm very much looking forward to catching that. And
I want to say it's out on VOD like in the next month or so.
Nice.
Yeah. And that's it for me.
Cool. Bex, what have you been watching solo?
I don't think I've watched anything solo, have I?
I don't know. That's why I asked.
No.
Oh, actually, VFX is literally out now on VOD.
VFW.
VFW, that's what I said.
You said VFX.
I know.
That's what I'm done. I've been watching Altered Carbon, so.
Ugh, TV. Right, so what have we watched that we both watched? I'm gonna let you do this. Well, no, I'll let you do that one first, because that was you insisted that I have to watch this with you, didn't we?
I love this film.
Yeah.
Existenz is one of my favourite movies, and I'm not even ashamed of it. It's fucking great. It's batshit, but it's great. I love it. They make a gun out of fish parts.
Ooh, I was watching.
It's so grim when he's eating the.
I was watching it going. I know it's Cronenberg, but knowing what Ian, you have a particular icky feeling towards like body stuff, don't you?
Yeah, Existenz is pretty rank, but I like it.
But I was watching it going, oh, what? This is how Ian feels watching Videodrome.
Yeah, the bit with the hole in his back is pretty grim as well.
I like it, Existenz. It's good. It still holds up now.
Yeah, it does.
In terms of the what is it? It does seem to go round in circles a little bit of its 97-minute runtime.
I think that's intentional.
It's intentional, but it does lose a little bit for me. But I do like the fact that we had it makes you realise how Jennifer Jason Leigh was hot shit for a long time. And how young does Jude Law look?
Oh, he's only a baby. Yeah, I honestly could watch Existenz on like a monthly basis.
Yeah, I definitely could do that.
I could.
We also rewatched the Thing, didn't we?
Not The Thing.
Not The Thing.
The Thing.
The Thing.
What?
And not The Thing.
Not The Thing.
Either. The Thing.
Which thing?
The Thing.
You know.
The Thing. We rewatched the Thing remake.
The
prequel.
Thing 2011.
The prequel, sorry.
The Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
The sequel.
Not the real Thing.
No.
And not the original Thing.
No.
I need you to start talking about things.
Yeah. The thing is, we watched this because I said to Bex, I can't remember if this was really, really shit or if we actually quite enjoyed it. So we rewatched it, didn't we? What did you think?
I really enjoyed it actually on rewatch.
I actually really quite enjoyed it on rewatch. I think I liked it better on rewatch than I did when I first watched it.
One thing that is a shame about it is that its most oh my fucking god moment is the bit at the end when you realise, if you've forgotten like an idiot, that it's a prequel.
Yeah, apart from you watch it going, but a lot of the tech they're using seems to be...
Oh, yeah, well, you do if you're a miserable bastard.
But it does seem like they got to like the end of it and went... They've basically just remade the Thing. But fuck it, should we just make it a prequel?
Yeah. But I do like that when they're chasing after the fucking dog and you're like, oh my god!
And the music kicks back in, yeah. So yeah, I enjoyed our rewatch of the Thing.
Yeah, it was good fun actually.
Right, you can do that one because I've talked about this movie a billion times.
No, I know. You like this movie too much to not talk about it.
I'll talk about it, but I'll let you introduce it.
We watched Mallrats. I am historically not a massive fan of Kevin Smith and specifically not a massive fan of Chasing Amy or Mallrats. So we watched Mallrats. Mark wasn't feeling very well, and it was like a treat. I honestly, I actually didn't hate it as much as what annoys me about them is that they speak in this way that kids don't speak. Like I get it. It's
but they're not kids.
It's like a whole thing. Yeah, but
they're not kids in it. They're supposed to be like
in their 20s.
In their 20s.
Yeah, but people in their 20s don't speak.
Well, Kevin
like
Smith was literally one of these people in his 20s.
What, speaking in speeches, monologuing all the time?
Probably, yeah.
I don't think Shannon Doherty was.
I don't know.
I love the fact where the bit where Ethan's up is like, Brenda,
Yeah.
dick. But yeah, it was good fun actually. And what's her name? Didn't annoy me as much as I thought as she has done historically. What's her name? Joey Lauren Adams.
Well, I love Mallrats, and it gets better every time I watch it.
It's a hug for you, isn't it?
It's a big warm hug of a movie. That, like I said, gets better every time I watch it. I do genuinely think it's up there amongst Kevin Smith's best work for me.
Yeah, it was fun.
Because it's unashamedly a movie of its time.
And
I think that's something to be celebrated.
Jason Lee's really good in it as well.
And our last one, we rewatched Lock Up. The summer.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I remembered I'd bought it on iTunes because it was like $4.99 at one point, and I just wanted to watch it. And I think it's also in 4K as well.
Yes, that's right.
And did you buy it as well, Ian?
No, I saw. I've seen it for cheap, but I don't think I don't think I did buy it. No.
Yeah, had you watched it before, Bex?
No.
So what did you think on first watch?
Well, we've had a conversation about this, Mark. I fell asleep about 5 minutes into it because I was knackered.
Oh. I don't think we have had that conversation.
We have. You said to me, yeah, we had a nice dinner and went upstairs to watch a film, and you fell asleep.
Oh, I forgot that. Lock Up's great. It's just a really sort of fun throwback movie to sort of the movies you got made in the late 80s that were basically made off the back of the fact that Sylvester Stallone was a huge star.
I enjoyed the 5 minutes of it I watched.
Donald Sutherland is hamming it up like a motherfucker.
I love Donald Sutherland.
He seems to choose to have a bit of an Irish accent at one point during one of the scenes, like halfway through the movie, but doesn't have it at the beginning or at the end.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah,
it is.
It gives an odd look as to what prison life might have been like in America at the time, with the fact that they get to just basically do whatever they want, but also get shivved a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
What a combination.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, I really quite liked my rewatch of Lock Up.
I was looking forward to watching it as well.
Yeah, well, you shit the bed on that one,
didn't I?
We do have some questions. Just going to find them. So, where are they? Yeah, 3, I think. Christopher Booerns, watching as adults, what have been your most shocking realizations upon revisiting films you saw as a kid? Mine was seeing Dirty Dancing again a few years ago and realizing the whole film hinges on an abortion subplot.
God, that's a really good question.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I mean, like, when I watched it, and this was obviously a while back, but Ghostbusters, the ghost giving Dan Aykroyd a fucking blowy, like, that's, because when you're a kid, it's just like, oh, that's funny. He's looking weirdly into that, and then it just provokes a lot of questions.
Yeah, it is an odd one where it's like, wow, that was a thing that happened.
Yeah.
I got one. Watership Down, because they used to edit it for like TV, so that you could show it on like Easter fucking Sunday or something like that. Watership Down. You're like, oh,
because Easter equals bunnies.
It's literally that.
Wow.
It's like, oh, it's just this quite nice little tale about these bunnies getting from one side of the forest to the other side. And then when you actually watch the full version, it's like, oh no, it's a fucking horror movie, an animated horror movie about war and death.
I can't think of any specific ones, but I do. There are a number of kids' films that I've watched in later life that I've gone, Jesus Christ, a lot of these are really fucking dark. Last Unicorn is one of them.
Last Unicorn's dark, yeah.
Secret of Nim.
Secret of Nim's really fucking dark.
My, you just watch it and you're like, oh, mice, cute. And then like you watch it again like a bit older and you're like, the fuck?
It's about segregation and racism and poverty crime. There's a lot going on in Secret of Nim.
There is a lot going on.
Yeah.
So just general stuff like that. But I can't think of any specific.
There's also it reminds me of the oddness of when you were a kid and you used to watch movies with your parents that you shouldn't have probably been watching, and then a sex scene came on and there was the awkward silence and everyone just kind of looking around trying to act like it wasn't happening.
I used to pretend I was asleep. My parents are the most conservative people you will ever meet. It wouldn't have gone over well. And then they'd like shift around like nervously.
I remember during LA Story, the Steve Martin. Yeah. There's a sex scene with him and Sarah Jessica Parker. And my dad turning around to me and going, that ain't what it's like.
Nice. Is there some, what's the Daryl Hannah one where she's a mermaid?
Splash.
There's something in that where she like dresses up pretty and then it's all she does like some kind of sexy thing where she's walking through like the scarves blowing around. I seem to remember, and that was a bit like weird and awkward.
Like Daryl Hannah's weird and awkward.
Well, yeah.
Mine's Neil Young now.
Good for her.
And Richard Kidd. This last year has seen Fantasy Island and Banana Splits turned into horror films. Which of your childhood favourites would you like to see turned into a horror? Jim Fix it doesn't count as it was a horror first time round.
Yeah, I'd say Neverending Story, but that was a horror.
A childhood like TV.
Oh, TV.
Show. Yeah.
TV show. The fucking raccoons.
The raccoons.
Yeah, I'd watch any kind of iteration of the raccoons. It is god tier children's television.
Yeah, the raccoons was
a great show.
It is literally the best cartoon ever made.
Do you know what, Bex? The raccoons slaps.
It does. It fucking slaps. It does. We had some fucking great TV.
Gummy Bears.
Gummy Bears.
Dancing here and there and everywhere.
Everywhere. Literally an amazing theme tune. With some fucking theme tunes.
No, Muppet Babies. Muppet Babies is a horror show. Muppet Babies. That would fucking bang. I would watch that. It's trippy as fuck anyway.
That would be quite a good one.
Where they just go off into like their cartoons, but they're in the real world in a video, like having an adventure, and there's just shit going on in the background, but it's clearly just a video playing in the background, and then they've been animated over the front. I would, Muppet Babies.
There's also Fraggle Rock would make a great horror movie.
Yeah.
And do you remember Button Moon? Literally, a lot of shit that people have made on Blue Peter forged together into a fucking show.
I used to hate Button Moon. Herb Garden. That would make a trippy fucking horror movie. Oh, and what's the one with oh my god, what's the one with the TV? Edna, Evil Edna, and the Fat Fairy.
Grotbacks.
No, Grotbacks she had the green hair. There was the TV, and she was like a witch.
I don't know this
one. Oh my god, you do.
I don't, Becky.
You fucking do.
I don't.
Ian, what? He's too young.
There was a TV show that was like it was a TV show, a kids TV show that was
Will-o'-the-Wisp.
Wow, you're going back to like fucking 70s there, Becky.
1981.
Was it?
Yeah.
What was the TV show that was set in the sewers? But it was like a sketch show, but the main bulk of it was set in a sewer.
Was that not Rolling Rat?
No. It was a really random fucking one.
Let's have a look. Kids TV show set in the sewers.
Yeah, it was set in a sewer, but it had like different like little sketch shows that went on within it. Have you got any, Ian?
Sorry, we're just nostalgia-ing.
That was the most animated I think I've ever heard you, Bex. Fair play.
I love kids TV.
The Raccoons is a fucking great one.
Yeah, good show.
I mean, like Funny Bones as A horror would be something, but that's based on books. Round the Twist.
Round the Bend.
Round the Twist.
That I was thinking of a second ago.
Do you mean Round the Twist?
No, Round the Bend was a. I'll upset. I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna see if there's any episodes of Round the Bend on YouTube.
I'd watch a movie of Erie, Indiana.
Oh yeah. Joe Dante did quite a bit of that, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
I've got that on DVD.
Yeah, you do, don't you?
Yeah, made you buy me, didn't I?
You did indeed.
By basically showing you my phone with it in my basket and saying, "Press buy it now."
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't really participate much in that, did you?
No, I didn't.
We had some good TV. She-Ra and He-Man, they were good. Thundercats, that was fucking good.
Just keep playing.
Oh. You rabbit hole.
I'm rabbit hole now. I'm going to watch Round the Bend, the first fucking episode after we finish recording.
Is there any raccoons on YouTube?
I don't know.
Fucking hell. Life-changing shit.
That was it for questions.
Oh. We could talk about kids' TV for
what we're covering next week? That's fucking weird.
What's fucking weird?
Are on my. I've just opened my phone and there's a picture of gummy bears on it.
Did you, I don't know, was it unlocked and you had like Siri on it or something?
About it.
Nice.
That's so random.
No, shut up, man. That's the kind of thing that really does make me think we're in a simulation. Like, there's been a little bit of an error in the code, and it's resulted in that.
Literally, yeah. Just open my what is it phone, and I'm going to send you the what is it.
No, I don't want to see it.
I'm sending you it.
I don't want to see it.
I mean, I'm assuming we're doing.
Doing what?
The Hunt.
So we've got The Hunt and we've got Bloodshot.
Yeah.
Is Bloodshot next week?
So I thought.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. I'm up for both those.
So yeah, The Hunt and Bloodshot.
Nice.
Assuming that the cinemas are all still open.
Yeah, assuming that cinemas are all still open, because apparently the new thing they're about to announce is that anyone with a mild cold is to self-isolate for 2 weeks.
Really?
Great.
Yep.
That misbehaved. Does anyone care about
Britain's
seeing
preparing
that?
to move to the next phase of its response to the corona outbreak, where people are told to self-isolate for even a minor cough or cold. I mean, how's that going to work for, like, stores from an employer level?
Yeah. They don't live in the real world, though, do they?
No. So
God, I'm going to be told to work from home within the next few days. I think the way it's going now, if they're going to say stuff like that,
you are. I think it's going to get to the point very soon where non-essential work is going to be called off.
Yeah, but how are they going to cover that?
Don't know.
Pay-wise, people can't afford to be off on statutory sick pay because it's basically 3p a day.
Yeah, it's nothing. Well, I get paid. So.
Well, would you get paid if?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Well, fine.
So, frankly, I don't give a shit. Right, I think that was episode 3.
I think it's fair to say that Mark and I are in very privileged positions in that kind of way, and I feel for anyone who is listening who is not in that position, because it has to fucking suck, and I hope that there is some work that you can do at home to at least try and pay the bills.
I hope companies are literally going to act responsibly. I doubt it.
If you don't, Jesus Christ, if you want to minimise the risk of this being bloody spreading, then they have to. You know what I mean? It's all that can be done.
That's it. It's your small businesses and your self-employed that it's going to hit.
Yeah, self-employed. They've got no recourse.
No, quite.
It's mental. I do think it's mental, the fact that you've got politicians literally joking about it.
Why? Who's been joking about it?
There's been a lot. There's been like members of the royal family have made jokes about it, haven't they, and stuff like that.
Not funny. Fucking idiots.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. To be fair though, like a month ago, a lot of people were joking about it. Yeah, and for a lot of people, it's a defense mechanism as well.
It is. It's that. I just think that maybe politicians, and then you've got, the fact that Johnson so far has just gone on Good Morning Breakfast and that's it.
So if you have to self-isolate, how does that look? Do I bring food up to you with wearing a face mask and leave it outside the bedroom door? And that's it. And I just sit on an evil toother again. I mean, I'm not with that. Hey?
The thing is, if one person in the household gets it, everybody's going to get it. Like, there's no point in isolating yourself from people within your house.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've got a really strong immune system. Touch wood.
Oh, you fucked yourself now.
I touched wood.
Nah, that's it. You're done.
I've saluted loads of magpies.
You're done. You're done.
Well, that was a fucking weird way to end an episode. Sorry. WeArePodSyndicate.com.
Yep.
I don't know. You're hosting.
Oh, yeah, I am, yeah. WeArePodSyndicate.com. Check out the great shows on there. You've got Entertainment Landfill, Chinstroke with Punter, His Film, Her Movie, Beyond the Neon, Us, What's on Tap. And you've also got the bonus shows. Just recently, there was the second episode of Tales from the Tape Deck came out there. We're going to be recording, I think, next week now. We're going to be recording the next Playing It Forward. There will be a few more episodes of Tales from the Tape Deck coming up in the very near future. So, yeah, keep an eye out on there. And remember to subscribe to our Patreon for extra content. Now we have a lovely laptop back, Rebecca. We can start recording the erotic adventures of Mark and Becky again, can't we?
Not if you're in fucking isolation upstairs, we can't.
We can. We'll just do it by Skype.
Yeah, fair
So, yeah. So, if we're in isolation, we might be more recording. It'll be all content with the isolation diaries.
There'll be lots of sneezing and coughing.
Yes. So very thank you much for listening, guys. Keep yourself safe, and we shall speak to you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
podcast is part of the Pod Syndicate family. For more criminally compelling shows, articles, and conversations, head to wearepodsyndicate.com.